Exposure by Wilfred Owen. We're going to learn about the power of repetition, the poet's use of half rhyme, and how the poet creates a sense of horror in his poem. Have a read through of the poem first of all. Either read it to yourself carefully or to someone sitting next to you and get a sense of what is going on here. Dawn massing in the east, her melancholy army attacks once more in ranks on shivering ranks of grey, but nothing happens. So we have here the picture of the beginning of the day and the melancholy army, the sad army, attacking once more in ranks on shivering ranks of grey, but nothing happens. So there's lots of firing going on, and they're attacking the kind of other side, but actually no one is killed, because no one has actually gone over the top. They're all in the trenches, and this is sort of the aspect of trench warfare where there's just this kind of paralysis. Sudden successive flights of bullets streak the silence, less deadly than the air that shudders black with snow, with sidelong flowing flakes that flock, pause and renew. Suddenly, of course, actually one of the ironies of this poem is that even though it's repeated, nothing happens. Quite a lot does happen in this poem, of very great significance. We've got the sibilance here of the sudden successive flights of bullets streak the silence. So we've got that S sound that creates the S of the sense of the bullets flying through the air, and it's less deadly than the air that shudders black with snow. The snow is actually killing off the men with the coldness. It's their exposure. Remember, the poem is called Exposure, and that not only means exposure to bullets and bombs, but also exposure to the very bad weather. Notice the alliteration here: flowing flakes that flock, the fl sound. Wonderful use of poetry here to mimic the sound and feel of the snow falling in through the air. And the rhythm of the line does that too. Tonight his frost will fasten on this mud and us, shrivelling many hands and puckering foreheads crisp. The burying party, picks and shovels in their shaking grass, pause over half-known faces. All their eyes are ice, but nothing happens. Personifying the weather here, the frost that will fasten on this mud and us, kind of latch itself onto them like a parasite, shrivelling many hands and puckering foreheads crisp. Again, we get the onomatopoeia of the shrivelling, the sense of these men being reduced to this kind of shrivelled old age almost by the weather. And then this image of the burying party, groups of men who have to bury the dead. Either they've died from the cold, or they've died from being hit by the bullets and the bombs. Here's a picture, propaganda picture of hot stew in the trenches. Probably pretty rare. There's a lot of evidence to suggest men were very poorly fed in the trenches and suffered a great deal from the cold. Questions. Owen repeats that nothing happens at the end of each verse. Why? Why is this sense of that? I think it's important for you to realise that a lot of war was extremely boring, because people are just waiting around doing nothing, and the battles may be quite quick, very intense. Pick out 3 things that actually do happen in this poem. Go back over it. What does not happen? Try and match the quotation with the analysis, so it's sort of in the wrong order. Some more detailed explanations of the poem can be found here, and they're very useful links. Annotate the poem and work out why you think it's structured in the way it is. It is very carefully structured in 2 parts, and it contains a great deal of repetition of key lines. Think about why that is the case. Try and teach the poem to the person sitting next to you.